Well, thanks for joining, whether you're live or going to review the recording. I appreciate folks that attending the training, because it is important to us, and I won't be able to be on very long this morning. I've got to scoot for a family event, but did want to take an opportunity to welcome everybody. And I think most know that my number one priority for the year is membership, and I think that what Naomi will go over this morning in Kuleana, you very much can see how it ties into membership, and taking a line from Pastors to Governor Iman about membership. You take care of membership, and everything else follows. So just very, very important, and I'll continue to focus on it. 2 months in, I've visited 50 of the 53 clubs that we have in the district. Get to visit Volcano on the 5th, will be my 51st. So most everybody has gotten an idea of where my emphasis is at, and where also our Rotary International President, Jennifer Jones, where she's coming from on most of her presentations and the information that she puts out. So with that, I won't take up any more of the time. I will turn it back over to Naomi, and we'll exit stage right here in about 2-3 minutes. Back to you, Naomi.
And so Corey from Toastmasters, go ahead, you have the floor.
Thanks, Naomi. And thanks to everyone for taking a little bit of time out. It's Labor Day weekend. There's Okinawan Festival going on. I don't know what else is going on this weekend. Hopefully everyone's going camping if the weather gets better. I hear it's a little wet here in Kaneohe. But this morning, wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about public image and personal branding, I guess you could call it. This presentation was originally done for, I think it's like the Interact clubs, Naomi. I think that was the original group. And we talked about, how you present yourself, whether you're looking to speak to a college recruiter. And this doesn't only apply to college level groups or high school level groups. This is at any stage of your career. How you show or how you present yourself is always important. You're always representing yourself, your company. In Rotary, you're representing your Rotary Club or Rotary International as well. So when we talk about public image, personal branding, we're looking at a conscious and intentional effort to create this public image, how you want to be perceived as an individual, as part of a larger organization, how you want your group to be seen. So I guess we can go around a little bit. Why is this important? What impact can this have on things that are going on around you? I don't know and go ahead if you want to just unmute or raise your hand, and we'll just go ahead and shout something out if you want. Type something into the chat.
Corey, the only thing I would want to say about branding is that it gives you quick and immediate recognition of who you are or what you are or where you're from. So I always feel that's very important. The negative part about branding is that a lot of people will take it and modify it to their own purposes, and that often takes away from what the brand is. And it's, I think in Rotary, person who provides products or services need to be qualified or certified or whatever the term is. So that's good, but I know there's a lot of others that don't take that. They'll put it on a t-shirt or on a hat or something like that. So that's my comments on that. Thank you.
Exactly. Thanks, Alan. You know, in Toastmasters, and I believe Rotary as well, anytime you present the logo, anytime you present a club meeting, there's certain things that the organization wants to have as their public image. So logos on a shirt, background images, everything that we present has to be in line with a brand. Whether, and again, that brand extends all the way to the personal interaction that we have with potential new members or with members that are, you know, already within the organization, because that's what everyone expects and that's what the organization wants to put forth. So thank you, Alan, for that. Now, as an individual, what you are putting forward, let's say in a work environment, are you looking to promote yourself or, you know, move up in the organization that you're in? This could extend also to Rotary. Volunteer leadership positions are even more difficult because now your personal image will impact all of those around you who you want to have influence over, so that they go ahead and they're willing to follow your path, follow behind you, support everything that you want to have happen within the organization. A lot of times in a volunteer organization, we can't just say, hey, I'm the boss, this is what we're gonna do, and Naomi, you do this, Alan, you do this, Carrie, you do this, Lorraine, you do this. You can't just force it on everyone. There's a lot of buy-in that needs to happen. So when we talk about leadership, and this is, I'm tying it all together to the brand, but what do you expect out of a leader? Naomi? One quality.
Inspiration.
Okay. Lorraine? One quality of a leader that you would expect.
Transparent.
Transparent. Okay. So let's see. I see Kara's back. So Kara, anything? One quality of a leader that you would expect?
I have to agree with inspiration, but also to be appreciative. You know, when you're a leader and you don't appreciate your volunteers, you don't appreciate when your employees does like way beyond their call of duty, and really being genuine about it.
Exactly. Nestorio, anything? One quality you want to add?
Yeah, just be informed, informed about, you know, everything pertaining to your organization, what's going on, things like that. That way you know what you're talking about.
Right. So informed, knowledgeable, respect,
Yes.
and appreciation for everyone. You know, so how
Correct.
many of you have had a leader that, you know, maybe it was at work, maybe it was in some other organization, because I know with Rotary and Toastmasters, we're all following what we're supposed to be doing as a good leader. So, you know, at work, let's say, or somewhere else, show of hands, how many people have kind of had a leader or supervisor that didn't fall into that type of category or those qualities, right? I think, yeah, I mean, you know, at some point or another, to some degree, I think we've all been in that situation. So if you didn't have to absolutely follow this person, would you have followed them? Would you have continued, or would you have just said, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go look for something else to do? And when you're in a volunteer organization, it's so easy for a person who is not feeling respected, a person who is not feeling like they can trust the leader to just leave. So as we think about public image now, are we showing that? Are we showing respect for everyone? Are we showing that are we knowledgeable about what we're presenting? Or maybe if we're not so sure about it, we at least know where to reference, where to go to get the answers, and always follow up to show respect that, hey, I understand you had a question and I followed up on it. I looked for an answer and this is what we came up with, so that you're being inclusive as well of everyone around you. And that, from the suggestions and everything, the qualities that people brought up, you know, will make a good leader. So you want to be showing that within the organization, outside of the organization, you know, as a personal growth kind of challenge, I would say, for a lot of people, because it's so easy to be focused on results, looking at the numbers, looking at production, looking at profit if you're in a business, looking at you know, just the end result, without realizing or without thinking about our peers, our coworkers, the people who are supporting us as leaders, or the people who, you know, we deal with every day, our customers, our clients, our and again, our club members. So work that into the public image that you're building for yourself. It's a very tough challenge. Just as all of us are individual, the people that we work with have very personal tastes or personal preferences. How do they want to be recognized? How do they want to be appreciated? Not everyone wants to be put up on stage and say, hey, you know, thank you so much for the great work that you've done, and, you know, be put up on that pedestal in front of, you know, 500 people or so. Maybe it'll take a handwritten thank you note, or, you know, hey, let's go out for coffee. I want to say thank you for the work that you've done. So getting to know everyone and their story, their personal story, and what they like and what they're going to follow, what they appreciate, helps build that leadership within you as the leader. And when you can incorporate that, when people see that or recognize that about you, then the possibilities are endless. I have about 5 minutes left. I wanted to leave some time at the end for any other questions or short discussion, if we want to have a short discussion. If you want to say something, if you want to mention anything, go ahead, raise your hand with the reaction button. Or Alan.
Your ending comment is what I think the essence of leadership is. You know, you take any group or team, and the members in your team have varying degrees of strengths and weaknesses. They have different values, different priorities, different objectives, background. And for me, a good leader is someone that can recognize all of those differences and bring them together for common objectives. And it's not easy, because you need to get off your arrogant horse and believe that it's important and valuable to find out what others are thinking and why they think the way they do. I call it hot buttons. I think everybody has a hot button, something that gets them all excited. And once you get that hot button, then you can ride that to get them to contribute to the team. So getting a whole bunch of people with different attributes together, I think, is really the essence of good leadership. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. You know, good point. If And people need to trust you as the leader to be open and express their points of view, their perspective. As the leader, you have to be open to all of it. And really, when we talk about conflict, right? Conflict is not necessarily a bad thing. You want to be able to hear different sides. Maybe someone has a better idea than me as a leader. If that's something that the group wants to pursue, we can go ahead and do that. I saw in a story with his hand up earlier.
Yeah, I just want to share something that happened from one of the clubs in my area. There's a Rotarian that has been a member since, I don't know, but 43 years total. And there was a video produced for him. And it was very touching. I was really moved by, by that video. So I made it a point that I made a certificate of appreciation for him, and was gonna present it last Thursday, but unfortunately it wasn't there. But it was very moving. It's a very nice video, and I wish to share it to the district. This guy has been a member for 43 years, and it was just awesome. And so that's my simple act of recognizing him. Made a certificate of appreciation for him, but unfortunately he wasn't there to receive it.
Yeah, and anytime, even if it's something small, to thank someone, if the people you're working with are feeling appreciated and they want to continue working with you, they'll share that with others in the organization and say, hey, I had such a great experience working with this person, or working with this group of people. So next time, come join me. We'll start growing this group together. Is something that's really interesting and really cool to see happen. Things start to snowball, and you get more and more people engaged and wanting to be part of the larger group, or be part of something bigger than just one or two people doing something small on the side. You get more buy-in, maybe even community buy-in as well, for service projects, whatever you have. So we've got about a minute left, so I'll turn it back to Naomi.
Okay, thank you so much. You touched on a lot of leadership qualities, but I'm going to share my screen because for Toastmasters, it has a lot of leadership topics. So if you're the youth service chair and you want a session with your interactors or a group of high schoolers, reach out to Toastmasters, because they have a lot of different sessions that they can present. Like last year, they had one on running meetings, on how to be organized and time management. Public speaking is one that they did on Maui. And so a lot of really good resources with the Toastmasters here. So here is Corey's information, his email and phone number, if you want to jot that down and get Toastmasters involved with your youth group. Okay. And Kara, in Couple A, when Dan Fullenweider was organizing groups, he had things at the Couple A high school, and he would get like 100 kids there. And Toastmasters would be a really good way to bring something that they could use, a skill that they can use not only in their Interact group, but also in their careers. Okay, so thank you, Corey. Thanks, Corey. Okay, so let's move on with the presentation. So we have a lot of leadership sessions and skills that you can use in Rotary and on the Learning Center. But I want to show you this video. This is Jennifer Jones. She is the Rotary International President this year, and she has a message.
Greetings to you all. I am so happy to have this chance to connect with you today. Helping young people take on a larger leadership role in Rotary is extremely important to me, and it gives me great joy to see amazing people like you leading and participating in service projects in your own communities and around the world. No matter how you found Rotary, whether it's Youth Exchange, Interact, RILA, or any other youth experience, my great hope is to help you understand how this can be a lifelong connection. This year, we're putting a special emphasis on turning our dreams and aspirations into reality. When an organization like ours dreams big things like ending polio and creating peace, it becomes our responsibility to bring those things to life. I would like us to imagine a world that deserves our best, where we get up each day knowing that we can make a difference. And that's why this year, we will imagine Rotary. And I couldn't imagine taking on these big challenges without people just like you. Rotary is a place where dreams come to life, where you can think of something that you would like to do to help your community or the world, and then find others who think just like you. I often hear people saying things like, "You're the future of Rotary." And while I'd like to think that you may be the future, you're also the now. What you're doing makes such a big difference in the lives of people around the world, and you don't have to wait to play a big role. We're so happy to help you do that as soon as you would like. I know that can seem maybe a little overwhelming at first when you think about how you can serve others in a meaningful way or how you can become a leader. But each year, we support the development of over 350,000 young leaders through Rotary's youth programs. And I have something really exciting to share with you, something that we call service learning. This is Rotary's approach to youth service, and it's all about providing you with the opportunity to address the root cause of community issues, all while building your leadership skills and starting on the path to a lifetime of service. So this is how service learning works. With the guidance of an adult advisor, young people like you can determine your own service experience, and you can develop important life skills such as critical thinking, self-management, and leadership. Service learning creates lasting impact by helping you discover how to identify and address genuine community needs, and then enact real change. If this sounds interesting to you and you would like to learn more, ask your advisor or a Rotary member to help you visit Rotary's Learning Center. There you'll find an online course and interactive workbooks to guide you every single step of the way. I am so excited to see you take these first big steps towards a lifetime of service to others. And thank you in advance, because I know you are going to do lots of good in the world.
So, as a leader, we want to have mentors. And so the mentors in your club can help guide you in your Rotary knowledge and also in projects. So when she says adult advisor, it's not necessarily an adult, but just someone who you can use as a mentor to help you through your leadership journey. And, we're lifelong learners. So even at any age, we're still learning. Right, Alan? Always learning. Okay, so let's move on. So I have this new toy. It's a doodle thing. And so, with Benson Medina, our district trainer, he had this big idea that we're going to do training, but he's on a plane right now coming back to Hawaii, so he couldn't do this one. But he said, let's do this Kuleana. It's a course in leadership. It's a one-on-one leadership session. And so we developed this session. So, leadership is not something you're born with. It's not something that the elite have or special people. It's not where you have to have a position of power to do that. So leadership is something that you can develop. It's a skill, and it's not something that you can maybe do by yourself. So it's a lot of choices. So you have all of these people around you that can help you with these choices. And leadership is about inspiration, motivation. See, she's writing pretty fast, huh? Staying engaged. And so, that's where you're helping your members and keeping in touch with them. So some leadership styles, there are many leadership styles, and you develop them according to the situation, but transformational, where you inspire people. Servant leadership, that's what we do in Rotary, because we have followers, volunteers, coaching, mentoring to develop more leaders, and pace setting. So sometimes pace setting, you have to raise the bar. You've got to get them with direction. So when you're doing, Carol, when you're doing the parade, sometimes you got to say, hey, we got to do this. And you just got to tell them, okay, you guys help with this and you do this. And that's a situation where you need to let people know we don't have time for discussion or consensus. We've got to get things done. So some of the other leadership styles besides transformational, servant leadership, coaching, you have the affiliative, where you have cooperation and harmony, and that's what you want in Rotary. You want people to be in harmony and use the 4-way test. But situational, so say there's an emergency, and you've just got to step in and make decisions for the group. So, Lorraine with the YWCA, there's sometimes people come to you and you've got to make a decision, and right there, that's a leader, where you can make the decision. You know when to have consensus, when to direct people with your decisions already. So, when you're in a household, the way that your leadership style with a toddler is going to be different from a teenager. So that's same for a Rotary. You've got someone who their personality is, you've got to really coach them, you've got to praise them, and you've got to really give them some ideas of how to move forward. And then there's some that you just give them the idea and they're going to take it. So, we had a speaker last week, and he was talking about Mauna Kea, actually, about how we need to find someone to replace us. So with the Hawaiian culture, finding someone to replace you, and then you pass the baton. But he said, don't forget to let go. So let go when you find that you've got someone following you, they're developing their own skills, and you want more people in your club to be leaders so that you can move forward, you can do more things. Okay, so you've got leadership models, you've got the power side, and then you've got the service model. So power is, they want things for themselves, how is it going to benefit me? And then you've got the service model part, where in Rotary is service above self. So how can I help my club members? How can I help my community? What do we need? And those are the kind of two different models that you can see. And so, when you saw the devil in Prada, you saw how she reacted, but she had a business and a vision, and it was hers. And so she kind of had to be like that to get people to do what she wanted. But then you have the Mayberry thing, where you're collaborating and you want people to be productive. So power models, people, they want to enhance their power. They want to look good. They want to be at the head of the whatever. And so it's about them. But when you have a servant leadership, a service-oriented leader, it's about what's important. And how is it going to affect people? And how can I best serve the people who are trying to help, and to help people make a difference in our community? So when you look at leaders, you want to adjust to your followers. Some need direction, some need encouragement, some need more coaching, freedom. So you want to adjust your leadership style to the situation. So the advantage of the service model is you're doing it together, and you build consensus, because when you make a decision for the club, sometimes you need people to buy in. So, Carol, when you say, I want to do the parade and nobody else wants to do it, that's okay, because you can find other people from other clubs to help you, right? So it's not one size fits all. If there's something that you want to do and it's going to be good, as long as the club says, okay, go ahead and do it, we can find people to help you. I bet you could find a whole lot of people who want to help with your parade, or your mission to help homeless women. There are other people, and that's why in Rotary, we want to find that value proposition. Even if you're not getting it in your club, you can find it other ways. So we have we have the fellowships, we have the action groups. This is where you can be with people that understand what you're talking about and have the same passion as you. So it's, you know, if you're not getting something from your club, there are other ways that you can get, but Rotary as a whole has so many opportunities for people. So the characteristic of a service model a leader is a desire to serve, is humble, attuned to others, people's need, and ethical. So if we're guided by the 4-way test, we can make good decisions. Okay, so when you think about helping people, it's happiness. And this kind of looks like our theme logo for Randy, where together we can make a difference and help people. So we're going to do a breakout room. And the situation on the breakout room was, you know, if you had to find volunteers to finish a job, how would you handle that situation? But let me put that on hold for now and go through the rest of the slides. We do have the Learning Center. So if you go to rotary.org/learn, you got to have a login to Rotary International's website. But here you find a lot of courses, and they're Toastmaster courses on professional development. They're courses on your role. So on youth service, on even, I think there's one on RILA, but club leadership, you can find a lot of these courses that you do at your own pace, and you pick the courses that you want. So Rotary wants to give you a lot of tools, a lot of resources. And for the district, we do have a lot of resources, but some of the upcoming Zooms we have, if you want to know more about the foundation, the basics, that's on September 10th. We have international service. The youth service group meets every month on the Monday, the fourth Monday at 5:30. So you can share ideas. We have board workshops. So Lorraine helped us with the board workshop one time, and she talked about how to have an effective board. And so that's part of leadership, of learning how to work together. But for a club, it's really important to have a board that works together, because when you have a board, you have members who are thinking alike, who can move your dial forward. It's a good thing to have a good core and not just one person that's trying to do everything or move it. You need buy-in. So the Kuleana course is coming up November 5th, February 11th, and April 29th. We'll have different subjects, and Benson will be back. And so let me stop sharing my screen here. And, you know, if we can talk about the situation where, you know, you're doing a project and you need people to work on that project, what kind of leadership skill do you think would be good to handle that situation?
Enthusiasm.
Yep.
Because if you really believe in it, and you tell people, I have a vision, but I need, you know, what do you think? I could use some feedback, but I think we can do this.
Yep. But, you know, it's that big picture on, you know, why we're doing this. And that's where you get that enthusiasm, because they want to finish it up. They want to do something good. Thank you. Lorraine?
I'm going to say fearlessness, the ability to be able to ask the question and be able to handle the no. I mean, I think a lot of things stop us because we're worried that there were going to be, I'm going to use the word rejected. That's probably not the right word for this morning, but we're worried about how people are going to perceive us. And my philosophy is it's a no if I don't ask, right? So if we're looking for volunteers, we've got to be able to be brave enough to go out to folks and say, would you be interested in doing this? One of the places I would go is I go to the folks where we've helped them. You know, if we've helped a nonprofit, I would go back to the nonprofit and go, hey, we need some help here. Do you have some people you could spare? But we would be worried about, oh no, they said no. And we would be worried about it. And just got to be fearless.
Yep. Courage, a lot of courage. But, you know, when in business, I'm a banker. And when we were on sales missions, we were told sometimes you need to ask 7 times. So when you ask someone to join, they may say no because it's not the right time. But you ask them the 5th or 6th time, they may say yes, because it's a different time. They have a different situation. So yes, having the courage and don't take it personally, right?
That's it exactly, as you can't. So when I owned my own business, I had no idea how I would market myself. That just was not something that I could do or market my skills. And so I ended up hiring a consultant and saying, I need some really intensive training. And one of the things that he did is to figure out how you can convince them, where it's their idea, that they can't live without your skill. So it was a constant reframing and moving it a little bit left of center. And I was that actually worked for me, not just because I didn't want to walk in and go, hey, look at me, I'm really good at what I do, you need my services. But we had to start asking questions. Well, what would happen if this happened? And how would you handle it this way? And that's another way of working, getting through the tough questions.
Yeah, it's what's in it for them too. And so yeah,
Exactly.
for us, anytime you're in sales, it's not not the sale, is how you got to put in their mind how it's going to help them.
Yeah,
It's
they
the same.
absolutely cannot live without that
Yep.
product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But same with Rotary, with our members, what's in it? What are they getting out? What's the value proposition for them to stay? And sometimes it's going to be that they feel good giving money. Everybody has a different reason for being in Rotary. Okay, so Alan, you thinking?
Yeah, I don't have a beard, so I rub my chin just to think that I have a beard. Now, the thing that I look for in leadership is a purpose. Every time we do a project, I always ask myself, why are we doing this? And if I can't answer that question, there's no way that I can explain to others to join me in doing what we want to do. We need to do why. It's kind of like almost like Zen. Zen says, as soon as you think you know what you're doing, then you don't know what Zen is all about. You need to constantly ask the question, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? What is the purpose of this whole thing? And along with that comes the thoughts that I have kind of developed in my mind, that when you give a gift, it's not the gift that is important, it's the giving. The act of giving is important. It's not the song, it's the singing. That when somebody sings for you, or it's that special thing that they're doing for you. The singing is more important than the song. I think it's not the destination, it's the journey. It's not the story, it's just the storytelling. I used to listen to my uncle tell me the same story 12 times, and I knew almost every part of it, but still, when I watch him and I can see him relive the whole thing. And that was what's important. It wasn't the story anymore. It was his telling me the story. So I embrace these things, and I look for that in leadership, in that people can actually tell you why we're doing this. What is the purpose? If we do this, who benefits? How much will it help us as a club? Things like this. So that's my take on the whole thing. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's really important on looking at the purpose, and sometimes the purpose changes. So for instance, dictionaries, the purpose for dictionaries before was really important, but now maybe dictionaries is a different purpose. So sometimes the kids, this is the first book that they have, and it's theirs, and that's the feeling that is comes with the dictionary. Hey, Nestorio.
Yes,
Oh,
Naomi.
So if you have a project, so you say you want a project for the West Side, and you need people to volunteer, what kind of leadership skill would you use to get people to volunteer?
You know, Naomi, I'm talking from my 6 years of Rotary experience. Most of the time, pick someone to lead is just basically voluntold. But I hear that term many, many times. But someone will always be there, and so you have to pick him or her. But I'm also walking a fine line between picking the same person all the time, and it just so it's takes fine juggling, and but eventually when you don't have any choice, you know, you just but the thing is being a president for once, it just I should the president should be out there all the time getting involved, and maybe on occasion just kind of cool lead. That's what it is. It just like Corey said, it's we're a volunteer organization, and it just you have to walk the fine line between assigning too much to the person who's been volunteering a lot, and then at the same time try to pick someone who would always who has the potential to you know being a leader.
Yeah. But getting more people involved is engaging. So you want your members to be engaged. So having committees so that someone can mentor them is a good thing. But having someone new be a leader, that's developing their leadership skills as well. But I think it's our culture that we don't volunteer. So you put it out, who wants to do this, and nobody says anything, right? And I think it's our culture. And so sometimes you got to talk to people and ask. It's that ask. Like, Kara, nobody asked you to be a Rotarian. So, we've got to go and we've got to ask. But when you ask, you got to hook them in. So when you ask someone to do something, hook them in and help them develop their leadership skill. Help them be part of your club, and they will then drink the Kool-Aid, as Randy always says, and really feel and be bonded with the club or that project. Okay. Thank you so much. Any other thoughts? Oh, okay. So this was our first Kuleana. I hope that you got something out of it. And the next one, Benson will be here, and so he'll give that Hawaiian spin like he always does. Yeah, Alan, that's what you come for. You come for Benson's stories, yeah?
Some of it definitely, Benson always adds something, a new way of looking at something. As somebody once told me, a brilliant, beautiful diamond has many facets. If it only had one facet, it would be a pane of glass. And so you really don't know the beauty of Rotary until you see all the different facets of it. And that's what I look for. And every member, and Kara, I welcome you to Rotary, and I'm sure you're going to allow me to look at another facet of Rotary. And I would appreciate that. And I love stories. I love stories that people tell me. It feeds my brain. And these are the ways of looking at another way of looking at leadership, understanding why people think the way they do, keeping up with the changes, making sure you stay humble and you don't get arrogant. It's so easy to get arrogant. But to be humble, and that's why when people ask me, "Hey, how you doing, Al?" I said, "I'm almost perfect." Lorraine knows that.
Yeah.
And some of them will follow up and ask, "Well, what do you need to do to be perfect?" And I said, "I need to be humble." And so that's kind of what I do to make people understand that when somebody says, "How are you doing?" it's meaningful for me. I take it as that they really want to know, and so I answer in that way. And I think too often we say, "Hey, how you doing?" without expecting them to answer, right? You just saying it because it's a nice thing to say. But anyway, that's why I joined Benson's presentations, and I think his aligning Rotary with Hawaiian values and priorities, there's a lot of great opportunities for us to even make Rotary a stronger organization with a greater spirit. And I'm looking for that. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Carol, any last words?
Oh, no, this is exciting. I wrote down the dates for the next upcoming leadership class. I went on Rotary for that learning. I'm going to register. Well, I am this whole year when I was watching, watching and learning and going into the email, your website, I am just impressed of all the resources that is available to us as members. And I need to kind of talk that, because we're wanting to grow our chapter as well. So I need to bring all this up because it really isn't just about what we can do for the community. Through all what I'm seeing is Rotary can do a lot for us personally. And then once you do that, then it flips back to the community. Because once you figure out your leadership skills, how to communicate, getting your vision onto paper, into the community, I can see that this is like a cycle. I love it. I love it. You develop yourself, then you become better and you can serve your community better.
Oh, we have to put that on a video. Okay, everybody, thank you very much. It's a 3-day weekend for a lot of people, so please enjoy your weekend. Thank you for being here.